Here today at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. We've got action all morning and another one coming up in just a minute. We will allow people to gather around under the American Muscle Car Restoration banner to see our next unveiling, which is a surprise, but not really, because when you look at the car cover, you might figure it out a little bit. But in just another minute, we're going to be pulling the cover on this one, so you're welcome to come on down and see what we've got in store. We'd like to welcome everybody to the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals this year. If you've been to this show before, you know what it's all about. If it's your first time, we invite you to not only walk the halls, but one of the challenges of this show is seeing the cars and really getting to understand what they're all about. I mean, there's a lot of shiny cars here, a lot of cool stuff, but every one of them has a tremendous story. So what I always recommend is if you see somebody standing by the car, and sometimes you'll see somebody with a matching shirt or logo, you know, that kind of lets you know that they might be associated with a car, ask them about it, because everything here is significant in some way, and the owners and the restorers and the people that brought them out are very happy to share those stories, and that's where you really get the inside information. And then it's fun because you can be the guy or the girl to go tell your friends that you know the hot ticket about this particular car. So it's a great aspect of the show. You got great access. Things aren't all roped off where you can't get close. Of course, we want everybody to be respectful of the cars, but it's a great opportunity to see things in person that you might have only read about or heard about or just didn't know existed. So, excellent. We've got people coming around. I'd like to welcome everybody here to the American Muscle Car Restoration display. My name's Kevin. We have a handful of people. Come on over here. Jill, Joe, you're going to have to follow the bouncing ball. We have Jill, we have Joe, we have Kendra, we've got Mike, and we've got John, and my name's Kevin, and this is a big circus about this crazy car that's behind me. And I'm going to start real quickly with Mike, who is the man behind this restoration business. Mike, before we give this away, tell me just a quick little bit about what we're about to see.
Well, it's a '69 Dodge Daytona, one of 503 built for NASCAR, and it's a R4 red 440 automatic transmission car. Has a really neat history behind it as far as how it was obtained, how it was saved from being trashed at a junkyard. And we've got the longtime owner here, John, and we've got the new owner, Joe and Jill. And it's a pretty special car. We did a complete show quality restoration on it.
All right, well, I know these people didn't come here to see us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present this 1969 Dodge Daytona. Let's pull the cover. And as we do, I'm going to get Joe to come on over here for a sec. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for this tremendous wing car. Now, Joe, you are the current owner. How long have you been holding the keys to this Charger?
A year and a half.
And John here is a former owner, and how long did you own the car?
Owned it from 1982 till I handed the keys over to Joe a couple years ago.
So the vast majority of this car's existence has been owned by you two guys, essentially. And Kendra, come on over here for a sec. Trying not to block the view of the photos, but Kendra, your thoughts on this car? The dead giveaway was that it was either, you know, something with the trunk lid open or it had a big wing. What do you think?
I mean, you can definitely tell it's one of 503. I mean, this is very special, and you guys did a fantastic job.
So thank you, Kendra. Joe, what was it that made you want to get involved with wing cars? These are a special car. These are not a typical 1969 Dodge.
I always wanted one. Always.
So what was it that drawed you to it?
I probably saw one when I was a little kid, and it stuck in my mind.
There you go. Kendra's on a mission, as many of us, to get the youth involved. Give me your feedback on a car that made an impression on him as a kid. I mean, what are we doing to try and get kids involved today?
I mean, definitely getting them to shows like this, you know, and getting them involved at the garage early. And cars like this are the ones that really draw in, you know, kids, especially American muscle. And you guys did a fantastic job. So good job, Joe, and fantastic.
Yeah, it's a huge congratulations to everybody involved with this project. And John, you were lucky enough to have owned multiples of these cars at the same time.
Yeah, it all started out with Plymouth Superbirds in 1976. I actually bought 3 of them. Went to the first Daytona Superbird Club show in '78 and spotted one of these for the first time, and I said, what the heck is that? I thought to myself, I need one less Superbird, one more Daytona. And in '78, I put the word out in the club that I was looking for one. It took 4 years. A friend of mine near the salvage yard in Kansas City, Missouri, let me know about the two that were in there. The owner wouldn't sell just one. I had to buy two of them. I didn't really want the blue one that I still have. I wanted this one, but later on changed my mind because there were so many red ones. But real neat history with the cars. You just mentioned about getting the youth involved. I have a picture of my daughter Michelle over there, who was there in 1982 when I brought the car home. And so she was around for a good part of it, but I only stored it. And this show actually made it possible for Mike here to talk to the guy that restored mine, Troy Angeli, who's got the booth next door. They were here at the show, and one said, I got a customer that's got a car for sale. One said, I've got a customer that's looking for one. And they introduced me to Joe
Attention,
and
everyone.
Jill here at the show.
We've got some famous
never know what
authors
happens.
over here at the motorboats.
This is we'll wait for him to finish overhead. But I want to talk to Mike.
We got 6 authors, Tom Carter, Marty Shore, and others at the motorbooks display right by the front entrance. Stop by and get your autographed book at motorbooks right by the front entrance, including authors Tom Carter, Marty Shore, and many others from now till noon.
It's
Come over to
important
Motorboats
for
display
these guys
right by the front
to get their
entrance.
books out there, so yes. So, Mike, as the man behind the restoration of this car, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful, and you're graciously picking it up so we can peek underneath. How bad was this car when it came to your shop?
It was actually in very good condition. It was a very solid car, very complete car, and because John is so passionate about these cars, and he had originally intended on restoring them himself, he had collected a vast amount of NOS and original parts for the car, and that all came with the project when Joe purchased it. And so when you guys look at the car, you'll be able to see all the detail. We like to display them on the lift so you can see all that and all the rare parts that are on this car. And we put everything we had into it, so it should be pretty impressive.
Well, it's incredibly impressive, and what people need to understand is, you look at this car and you go, yeah, it's a big car. It's got the thing on the nose, and it's got the wing, but this is not just a regular Charger, and it's not a car you can go down to your local parts store and buy trim for or other specialized parts. There's a lot of special parts on this car.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of special parts that are specific for the Daytona conversions that, if you didn't have them, try to find them. It's just difficult.
So, Jill, you're not getting off easy. What are your thoughts on this thing? This is, in all intents and purposes, it's kind of a ridiculous car. It's awesome. It's over the top. It's gonna stop traffic everywhere it goes. What do you think?
I loved it since the day I saw it, and I can't wait to take it for a ride.
So is there a particular element that you like about it? It's a 440 under the hood, so we know it makes power. It's bright red. It's got the wing. What is it that you really like about this car?
My favorite color is red, and I love the wing. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah, and the red and the white are really striking. So when you guys get this thing home, once it's all dialed in and sorted out and polished up, do you have a first trip in mind? Do we know where we're taking this on its maiden voyage?
A slow ride through the country. I don't want him to gun it. I don't want whiplash. I just want to enjoy a nice slow ride through the country.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because being involved in the restoration business myself and having sent a bunch of cars home with customers, especially cars that, are very valuable and rare and unusual, I know how this goes. The first drive is like this, and you're afraid to touch the gas pedal, and you wish you had more eyes and more mirrors and everything. And then after 3 or 4 or 5 miles, you're starting to feel it out a little bit, the brakes. Then after about a half an hour, you're like, yeah, all right. And pretty soon, an hour and a half later, you're looking around, you're like, so you'll get there.
I'm sure he'll start off that way. He's more excited than I am, so he's ready to roll it.
So, do you have other vehicles like this? Are you a Mopar guy or just a Daytona guy? What else is in the stable?
70 RTSC Charger to Mike did, and the 73 Duster to Mike did.
Awesome. So the cool thing is I believe with only 500 and change of these cars built, and owners like you that had them for a long, long time, these cars create families. So now you know probably everybody that owns these cars, and you certainly do, not only for restoring them, but you're making resources and connections, and you're now totally part of that family too. So welcome aboard.
Yeah, I want to thank John and Mike.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to thank Joe for being such a great customer and allowing me to do what we do here, and I'm forever appreciative for that. And thank you for selling the car to him, so that allowed us to be able to do it for him.
You're welcome. And we mentioned the hobby and this show and the kids, the children. I want to put a shout out to my wife and the spouses that put up with this hobby. You have to have the whole family behind it when you get into this level. So thanks, Linda.
Congratulations, everybody. Guys, we gotta move everybody off the carpet, please. Off the carpet. Off